All is well, Ryan, and just glad to be joining you for this special edition of the game and Alabama tradition. So thanks, man.
Statement, and we'll see if Martin decides when you're in. So you got the mic. Go for it.
What was it?
What was your debate? Your debate. We've been debating. We've been debating Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. We've been in ACC, the SEC.
No. I don't need you. I don't need to give these callers another reason to think to hate on me. I'm not an ACC guy. I don't think the ACC is better than SEC.
But I'm giving you the mic, Rob. We don't stumble in the words. So
I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll speak for him then.
I want to hear you say it because I don't want people thinking I'm an ACC guy or I think it's better than the SEC.
Okay. All right. Well,
go ahead. Let them know what I said.
All right. So Kendall said when you look at 10 games in the SEC that he thinks that is overrated playing 10 games in the SEC last year. But it gets too much credibility.
Why would he think that's overrated? In terms of he's saying it's. Let me give him the best example that I can tell him what that means and something he can relate to. Gonzaga. That's all I'm going to say, Ryan. Gonzaga. When Gonzaga had to do it consistently, they just didn't have enough depth. Gonzaga, not only did they lose to Baylor, they got dominated and humiliated. And part of that was the fact that they were one of the best teams in the country, no question about it. But the wear and tear and the intensity of playing consistent competition in a short window takes its toll on your body, and that's what the SEC is. Now, is the SEC as physical as it used to be? No. Are the athletes still the best athletes still in the SEC? Absolutely. And so overrated, I'd have to disagree with him. I mean, but see, he says that. I remember when you remember when Clemson beat the crap out of Alabama under Tua. You remember everybody said, "Well, Clemson's not playing anybody; they're not that good." Don't take how a team is beating other teams to mean that it's not necessarily good. That team may just be superior. I'm going to tell you what last year was for Alabama. The reason Alabama beat people the way they did was for the first time, Alabama got seniors back. What we saw last year is what Nick Saban would put out every year. There were 6 starters on Alabama's team last year that would have been starting in the NFL in a typical year. Najee Harris would have started in the NFL if he had left as a junior. Devontae Smith would have started if he had left. Leatherwood would have started if he had left. And that's the for sure guys that would have been starting in the NFL. And then you flip to the defensive side of the ball, you had the same thing of guys that came back. And so Alabama's dominance last year, I think, was as much about the fact that Nick Saban got, some seniors to come back, and age. That's what people don't get. The maturity and the years of playing sports in that 1 year makes such a big difference. And I think that's what it's. But I'm not gonna say you don't give kudos to Alabama for going and doing what they did last year, because they didn't just play 10 games. They played 10 games in the SEC, won a SEC championship, and then played that 13-0 record was well earned last year, more so than any other. And think about that. If it's not for the greatness of the SEC, how many times would you say Nick Saban is going undefeated if the SEC and the talent doesn't matter?
It's a fun debate. It's a fun debate. I get when you look at the SEC. I look at there were some teams that were lacking last year. And some teams after the pandemic kind of melted in. When you look at these teams, I get it. But I still think playing in this league. There's a reason why Nick Saban cannot get any help to get beyond 8 conference games. When he goes to the spring meetings in Sandestin, and
right,
he tries to convince his colleagues, please vote with me to go beyond 8 conference games. He's tried to get them a 9. He's recently started campaigning for 10, and I've said it. He really doesn't want 10. He just wants them to meet halfway and go, okay, well, let's go to 9. But he can't get nobody to go with because they need those mid-major games to get bowl eligible.
I agree with that. I think without a doubt that he is he went to the 10 so he could get back down to the 9 at least.
Those teams need. There's a lot of teams that will not go to a bowl if they don't get those mid-major wins. Yep. There's a lot of teams, and they need those bowl games filled, and because that's money to the SEC. All right, so Martin, true or false? Mac Jones can tie his own shoe.
True.
Without Nick Saban's help?
What's I'm not sure. Is this a setup question?
No, we're not. This is not a Kendall thing. It's not a Kendall thing. Kendall was just on the SEC ACC debate. We were on Trevor Lawrence too, but I keep having to go on radio interviews across the land and having to defend Mac Jones. I'm not saying the guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I think he'll play on Sunday afternoon, and I think he'll have success in the National Football League.
In you and I's career of covering sports, and even from the time since I played, Ryan, how many starting quarterbacks has Alabama put into the league before Jalen and Tua?
Greg got a taste of a little bit.
Not guys who started a game, but starting quarterbacks
that went to the NFL. John Parker spent time there. Greg spent time there. AJ has spent time as a backup.
But none of those guys went to the league and became starters. They may have started. You have to go back to what, Rutledge?
Oh
Yeah,
I mean,
and the point I'll make about Mac Jones is he's going to be the third starting quarterback, and at this time from Alabama, and he may be the best one.
wow. All right, I'm gonna let Martin hold that for just 1 minute. I'm gonna get to Robert and Brookwood after this. We'll work him into the conversation. This is Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks and traffic not too bad. Now, early northbound is heavy through Northport up to McFarland, and 69 is heavy on both sides of Skyland. But if you see other conditions, just give us a call, 205-886-8886. Higher experience Class A and B CDL truck drivers, as well as restricted automatic transmission CDL drivers. You'll be home every night, competitive salaries with paid Blue Cross insurance and 4% employee match 401k, along with other great benefits. Call Jamie, 205-331-3551. That's 205-331-3551. Where to get a great deal on a brand new Nissan? Your hometown Nissan dealer, of course. Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. I'm Cap Ray.
Rumsey Environmental serves West Alabama with pride, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with efficient waste removal services. RETuscaloosa.com. If you have a portable building and need it moved, call Dwayne's Towing and Recovery at 759-5002. Dwayne's Towing and Recovery also offers local and long-distance towing 24/7, repos, and removing unwanted vehicles from your property. So if you need a portable building moved, a tow unwanted vehicle removed from your property, or repos, Dwayne's Towing and Recovery can get the job done for you. Call Dwayne's Towing and Recovery at 759-5002. That's 759-5002. Dwayne's Towing and Recovery, getting the job done for you. What's in store this week at Staples?
A big deal on ink. That's kind of a big deal.
Staples has the technology, furniture, and supplies you need for a totally productive workspace.
And right now, you can earn 40% back in Staples rewards when you purchase any 2 ink or toner cartridges.
Shop in-store or get same-day delivery powered by Instacart.
And 4/17/21. Limit 4 in-store and on Instacart only. Visit staplesconnect.com/ink rewards for details. Instacart delivery subject to availability.
let those guys be a part of your week. We're talking about lunch and dinner options. Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard, catering as well. Go see Cal, Justin, Brad, Brett, and all the friendly staff at Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard.
Does learning a language feel like this? No habla español? Hablo. It's hablo? It's hablo. When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in Babbel to our real-life situations.
The app is so easy to use, and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
Making popcorn for movie night? Well, for you, this is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless. What if every time you tried a new streaming service, you had to buy a new TV?
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, some wireless companies do that when you switch. Make you buy a new phone.
Right.
But TracFone Wireless lets you keep your phone and your number and your network and gives you unlimited talk and text starting at $20 a month. Seriously, who are you? This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. Oh, you're burning it. Oh, no. See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Do you feel vibrations when you step on your brake pedal? Is it taking you too long to come to a complete stop? Well, then it just might be time to replace your brakes. Don't wait for brake failure to cause an accident. Replace your brakes with high-quality brakes from Northport Auto Supply. Northport Auto Supply has the area's largest inventory of brakes in stock and will help you find the brakes that are best for your car. Northport Auto Supply. Why go anywhere else?
Hi, I'm calling to schedule a shipment.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can turn your business upside down.
Pickup is at 7?
See, we gotta hustle. Like at Sunita's online chai company, to avoid back orders, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
The flagship station for Alabama Crimson Tide football. Alabama touchdown. Only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. The man says it's again the time and the Mississippi River keeps it so dry.
The Dwayne Tuesday continues here. That's Mark Houston. I'm Ryan Fowler. We're going to welcome in Robert and Brookwood into the conversation. Robert and Brookwood, I hope all is well. Welcome to the game in Tuscaloosa.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Mark's hanging out with me here for a couple of minutes until we get to Alabama baseball. So Mark's in this conversation too.
Yeah, I just saw on the news that Hillcrest coach.
Okay.
Sam Adams left to go to Oxford
Sure.
High School. So.
Yeah.
And the new guys just from Shades Valley, so changed from getting high school football.
I got you. Well, it's always good, and I want to see high school football get back. And Martin, I think you could probably jump into this. We've got a couple of new coaches here in this area, and when you look at County High, getting a
at least pick up a little bit, hopefully get better in terms of the quality of program. And that starts especially I think at the high school level, not just with talent, but with coaching as well. And so it's good to see these schools making some investments. And I think Adams was doing a good job at Hillcrest. It'll be interesting to see if this coach is able to continue. And then maybe Weingartner and Coach Antonio Ford, maybe he can, him and the rest of that staff can do some good things over at County High.
jump in, Robert.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of thought, our head coach at Brookwood, he came from Hillcrest. He's been the coordinator for many years, and I thought he might go back to Hillcrest, but glad to keep him at Brookwood. He's also doing a good job at baseball. His son's the starting punter at Notre Dame.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, very cool. He got a lot of publicity. He got a lot of publicity this past when Alabama played Notre Dame. Hey, he's from Tuscaloosa. And it's always cool to see these local kids have a lot of success.
Yeah, a couple of his sons also played baseball at Alabama. So A lot of ties there.
Sounds like it's in the genes.
Yeah. What was your question? What's going to win Alabama national championship?
Yeah, well,
if you want one.
I mean, and this is something Martin and I've got to break down here in this segment is when you look at Alabama, I don't know if there's another team right now in college football that could lose what Alabama lost this last year and be right back in to predict to win it all. Alabama's the team to beat according to the Football Power Index, which, I mean, we knew that. But see, you could make an argument that Alabama, this is a rebuilding year for Alabama. But Nick Saban doesn't get that rebuilding level, right? He doesn't get that conversation. Has never given a Nick Saban.
You know, I said a few weeks after the national championship game, it might be at 11-2 year. That's at the worst because, you know, you got to get everybody focused. You got to get a continuity, everybody on the same page, no matter how much talent you got. Coach Saban would be the reason. We can't say defense right now because this defense hasn't showed us nothing. You can't call in and say Bryce Young is going to be the reason we win a national championship. The kid might have been a great player in high school. It does not mean you're going to pan out in college. I'm sure he will, but you can't base that off that.
Well, let me put this in a plain format, Robert. If Bryce Young's not the guy and he cannot, then we're not going to have success in 2021 compared to our standards because he separated himself by the Grand Canyon. If you want to go state of Alabama, the Little River Canyon. I mean, there's a big gap between 1 and 2. Big.
Well, Robert, why do you say the defense hasn't shown anything?
Well, I need to rephrase that. Brian can back me up on this. I keep stats for Brookwood. I've been keeping stats for years. I'm a stat guy. I keep it in college. People dogged our defense last year, but if you take away the Ole Miss game, the scoring, the rushing offense, passing offense they got against us, Alabama was a top 10 defense. Y'all, you remember me saying that many times, Ryan?
I do.
But yet, as far as everybody's talking about they're going to be elite defense this year, what I mean by that is they haven't showed that yet, even though in the Ohio State game was, I think me and Ryan's talked about this before, without a doubt, that was their best defensive performance of the year. So you go by that last game, and I think.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
But it's just, we can't really say they're going to win a national championship. I can't.
Robert, let me ask you this. I don't know if you can win a championship no matter how good your defense.
We're having a little bit of trouble here anymore.
I don't know if you can win a state championship right off. I mean, a national championship without a great defense. Without a great offense in today's culture, period. So I'm not sure that's a fair assessment with the defense. But if you take out Ole Miss last year, and even if you put Ole Miss in, you have to kind of give it an asterisk because of Kiffin. Kiffin knows Saban's defense, and he was prepared for it. And he knew how he caught Saban in that defense several times when they were trying to make changes because he knows how Saban likes to respond and react. But my comment behind this is this. You take out that Ole Miss game and tell me what wasn't elite about the defense in today's standards.
Today's standards, and that was going to be my follow-up to Robert. Robert, I'm not sure we can have an elite defense anymore. I'm not buying it anymore.
Well, I mean, but what's elite defense?
We're spoiled on 92 defense. We think every defense is going to be like our 2011.
Well, we're spoiled on, but it's just the trend. I mean, I asked Roman Harper last week. I said, Roman, do we need to change what we're calling elite defense? I think we do.
Yes, that's why I said that's why this defense, I think, can be elite, Ryan. I think that they can be a defense that continually puts us in a position to win. And if they're not, we don't win a national championship this year because we're going to lose a couple games early while this offense, I think, has to catch up. Now, with that said, how do you describe elite defenses? I think if you hold teams somewhere in the 17 to 24-point range, and you do that every game, and here's the other part. Here's the key with elite defenses, Ryan. I think not only do you look at the score, I think you look at third down and red zone. And that's always been important. But you can be a team that gives up points here and there. But go back and look, even when Tua was here, It wasn't that we gave up points. It was just we never could get off the field when we had to. When there was a crisis situation, our offense, we needed our offense back out there. Our defense couldn't do that. I think they showed that last year with the exception of Ole Miss and Florida. But you have to give Florida some love. Florida was a legit big-time offense that do we say everybody we played had bad defenses, or do we say we had an elite offense?
Ryan, too, I think the Ole Miss game last year to me was an aberration. I don't think Kiffin's going to come in here this year and do that.
Right.
He did in Oxford last year.
Right.
No way. I don't see that. Maybe they have that figured out.
Can I add one more to this, Martin and Robert, to elite defense? Because I think this is what Alabama's defense is going to have. They're going to be able to get after the quarterback, and I think you've got to be able to do that. And I think that's where this game is trending. And I think Alabama's going to be a team that's going to get back to that, maybe 50-plus sacks type of season.
Well, I made that.
Rich from Atlanta, you and your one of your buddies there in the booth, the LSU guy, what's his name?
Brian?
He was putting down, he said the SEC was down.
That's Kendall. Look at Brian taking up for him. Brian Kendall.
He said, well, the SEC 10 games. Look, take a look. You and Rich knew one brought up Texas A&M only lost one game. Who'd they lose to?
Alabama.
All right. And it can't help it if the SEC sucks. It's because of LSU. So, we can't take that away.
Get him, Robert.
I
know. And I don't even know if Kendall knows this, but Robert's hated LSU as long as I can remember him being a part of our show. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you, man.
Real quick, I want to tell Martin there, I met him at the Brookwood Northridge game. He signed my Alabama helmet. That meant a lot. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. I remember meeting you, Robert. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you, bud. All right.
Martin, is that part of the – okay, they're giving me the break sign. Let me break, and I'll come back and we'll answer that question on the other side because it seemed like Alabama will be ahead on that with Will Anderson, Chris Allen. Nick Saban continues to point those guys out as high achievers at the University of Alabama. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama. Crimson Tide Sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic. From the Texas and Nissan traffic signal wrecks, but heavy traffic at Florida westbound heavy from the river to 69. Early northbound, very heavy downtown and across the river up to mid-Florida through Northport. 69 southbound, very heavy at Skyland. 69 northbound, heavy at Skyland also. 69 northbound, backed up at Union Chapel. If you see other conditions, just give us a call. ST Bun Construction is looking to hire experienced Class A and B CDL truck drivers, as well as restricted automatic transmission CDL drivers. You'll be home every night, competitive salaries with paid Blue Cross insurance and 4% employee match 401k, along with other great benefits. Call Jamie 205-331-3551. That's 205-331-3551. Where to get a great deal on a brand new Nissan? Your hometown Nissan dealer, of course. Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. I'm Cap Ray.
Attention, this is an important announcement if you live in Tuscaloosa and West Alabama. Your health care could be in jeopardy. In the last decade, the DCH administration has contracted the management of the emergency room, intensive care units, environmental services, and dietary services to out-of-state companies. Now the DCH administration has terminated the contract of local doctors, Pinnacle Physician Group, and Northport Hospital, when Northport is doing better than any hospital in the history of DCH. This decision has sparked opposition in a letter signed by 110 persons of importance, including a state senator, a state representative, 100 physicians, and 2 former DCH administrators, who in the letter asked the DCH board to reconnect with local talent and keep the current contract at both hospitals. If you want local doctors to handle your health care as a patient at both hospitals, you must take action now. Tell the DCH board to keep local doctors instead of sending jobs and taxpayer dollars to out-of-state companies. Sign the petition now on Pinnacle Physician Group Facebook page or on our website at pinnaclephysiciangroup.com.
If you need screen printing or embroidery done for your sports team, company, school, or special event, stop by B&B Sports in Northport and talk to Robbie. Looking for, no matter the size of your order, you can trust the team at B&B Sports to handle the screen printing and embroidery for your team. B&B Sports also has coaches shirts, hats, belts, and socks.
Call 205-339-7361 or stop by and see Rodney Johnson at B&B Sports at 1600 Lurleen Wallace Boulevard in Northport.
O'Reilly.
Cleaning your fuel system can make your car run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner and add it to your tank during your next fill-up. On sale now, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by and talk to our professional parts people today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
One Series tractor with their iMatch Quick Hitch, backhoe, quick park loading, and Auto Connect mower dash.
Mic test, 1, 2.
Place with others. It's as easy as Renee runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Mike.
It's here. Hear Renee's story at Deere.com.
The Game with Brian Fowler, powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Well, way down yonder on the Chattanooga, it gets hotter than a doozy. He laid rubber on the Georgia asphalt, got a little pretty, but we never got caught. Down by the river on a Friday night, near a bit of camp in the city of right. Talking about cars and dreams about women, never had a plan.
All right, so we continue the conversation. This is Ryan Fowler. That's Mark Houston. He's hanging out with us for a couple of minutes right here on the game. We're going to get to Darlene over in North Carolina. But, Martin, let's go back to the question that I kind of set up as we went into the conversation. When you look at this Alabama team, and I think in college football as a whole, when you look at impact of the quarterback, that's what you've got to be able to do. And I think this team is going to be really strong at that.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, Ryan, when you look at Alabama, I mentioned this morning on my show that we may have a little bit of a flashback to the 92 team. Not meaning because we had defensive ends in Copeland and Curry, but if you take the outside linebacker position and put it into the defensive end position, to me, it's a lot like Copeland and Curry when you look at Will Anderson and Chris Allen. One's a little faster, a little quicker, a little more twitch to him, in like Curry. The other one is a little thicker, a little bigger, better run stopper, but both can get after the quarterback and both can play the run well. Just one is better than the other. And I think that's what we have in those two guys. And then I don't think there's much drop off with Drew Sanders, Quindarius Robinson, and King Mwikuta. It's just, I think that for the first time in a long time, Ryan, he has playmakers at that outside linebacker position. And I think that's what it's going to take for this defense. And I think that's what's going to make it elite, because that's going to help our defensive backs. It's going to help the linebackers. When you don't have to cover as long, you go from good to great.
Well, I mean, Deion Sanders can only cover for so many seconds. Great one. So putting pressure on the quarterback,
I think that may be where we change. We're trying to run up what an elite defense looks like. I think it'll be impacting the quarterback. Let's go to Darlene, North Carolina. Darlene, you're on with Martin Houston, Ryan Fowler here on the Alabama tradition version of the game.
Hey, Darlene.
Oh, I didn't even get it. You know what? I guess I just had a major brain fart. I don't even know what to say. Darlene, I guess if I would hit the button, you'd be on.
No, I didn't even hit the button. Well, hey, Darlene, it's good to talk to you. And I wish I could get a redo, a do-over there. So. Okay.
I feel for LSU. You really did. But the one thing I did draw the line at is arguing with your elders. So, good night, me dear.
All right.
Is he laughing or is he?
I can't see.
I can't see.
Kendall,
Kendall,
are
are
you
you over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
So
I think it's influence.
So
So I think
I mean,
we're
we're
have a debate
with this.
But
Well, and see, I thought one of the good things too was the little exchange that y'all had talking about how well Alabama football players were trained and where they are closer to their siblings.
I thought
Kendall made a great point on that. And yeah, I mean, when you look at
the ceiling,
and I've asked NFL scouts, how do you evaluate that? If you look at that, I mean, let's just throw out a team. Let's say Mississippi State.
You got a Mississippi State. You know that he doesn't get the coaching like
Alabama gets.
So do you look at it and say, okay,
well, he's got a little bit of room left.
He's got a little bit of room.
But if he played in Alabama, his room would be maximum. There may not be much left between, Patrick Surtain at the top. Or
much less.
That's where things are getting confused. When you say they may not have much left, what you're saying is they are operating at such a high quality that they don't have much improvement to give, but they still have a lot of playing time. You understand?
I do. Yeah.
No,
I agree.
But it's.
I just think it takes a professional football player to play in Tuscaloosa. I mean, if you're the starter, you're a dude.
The reason that is such a thing, though, is, and hopefully most of them now know before they get on campus, it's a discipline. It's not just walking around the campus being a big dude saying, hey, I'm a football player. Those,
look at this running back, Darlene. Mark, jump in here. When you look at these running backs, whoever wins the starting job,
the second guy
may go play
tons
of years in the NFL. The third guy, the fourth guy. I mean, it's like to be the starter, you got to walk your way through a lot of five stars to get that recognition.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, Ron, when
worn out, not done in the NFL because they didn't have any tread left. But I disagree with that. I think that of late we have proven that there is still plenty of football players left in Alabama's running backs that go into the pro game.
I think the biggest thing, sometimes I think Alabama fans are disappointed or shocked where Alabama players go, Ryan. To your point, it's the semantics of the word. If you use it incorrectly, it can be mistaken when you say they don't have much left. And Darlene's correct. They have plenty of football life left. But here's the key. The reason they don't sometimes get drafted is because they don't have a lot of space to improve left. In the NFL draft, when we watch some of the shocking picks, they draft guys not on what they've done in college only, but on their potential. And that's what Ryan was trying to communicate, on their potential to get better and improve in the NFL. And Alabama guys are viewed in that category sometimes negatively because, and that's what used to happen with my high school, my coach, they used to say, man, he's already got that guy operating probably about as good. He used to say he's gotten almost everything out of him that you can get. And so if you weren't elite, coaches sometimes would think, he's probably. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, Martin, the show, we got to get out of here in just literally like a minute and 30 seconds. So it's they're giving me the wrap up signs. I don't want you to get too deep there.
No, I was just saying that you just have to know that sometimes that's why Alabama guys don't go as high, because the NFL don't think they will get any better, even though they may have 10 years, where some other guy that didn't get coaching, didn't have the facility, didn't have the nutrition, didn't have all of those things, has a higher ceiling, in their opinion, once he gets their coaching in their facility.
Darlene, thank you for your. Yeah, Darlene,
I'm sorry. I'm out of time.
No. You need to go.
I gotta get right to Alabama baseball.
Thank you,
Darlene.
Roll
Roll
Tide
Tide to you.
Thank you,
Darlene. We appreciate the conversation there. So we are literally.
Okay, so
I have time to take that.
No,
Me.
Talk to me. No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Martin, I gotta wrap up.
All right. So give me a bump.
And let's get out of here.
We'll
We'll get into that conversation.
There
There
it
it is. There it is. I couldn't hear it. I was like, okay, what have I got to do? I got to wrap up.
Martin,
We're going to get to Alabama baseball, but
it's
fun
fun
for hanging out here for a couple of minutes. Man, it's a fast 55 minutes.
Kind of crazy to think, but it was definitely worth it, and I appreciate it. And to all Alabama tradition folks, we thank you for joining the game for a little bit today.
Little Alabama tradition version. Sorry we couldn't get to everybody right here at the end.
Going to get to Alabama baseball coming up in just a couple of seconds, and that's a hard conversation. So that's Martin Houston. I'm Ryan Tyler. Big thanks to Kendall. Big thanks to Brian. Big thanks to Tommy Paradise. I'm Ryan Tyler, reminding you that we call this program the game of the ultimate, that you can win the big game. The game of life is to walk daily with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Good night, Pete. I'll see you tomorrow.
From Tide 100.9. All right, Martin.